Welcome, it's your friendly neighborhood Badger here, and I'm back to showcase what we've been up to over the past few days, because I haven't actually given you an update. So just most recently, I actually died to some texture streaming issues in Hardcore Trade, which was really frustrating, and basically TLDR, I re-rolled in Softcore Trade just for a little bit of fun for the moment, because I wanted to play around with the Ngamahu's Flame Axe. Now, right before we do that, just watch the clip of how we died and see if you can figure out how that happened. Oh my god! Yeah, so we did actually die to Invisible Baran Mines. So it was a Baran influenced map, as you may be able to see some of those effects on there, and we died to invisible mines that usually show up very bright on the ground that you definitely want to avoid. They were invisible, we died to it, and I did not want to re-roll Hardcore because of that. Now, I'm not going to comment too much on that. I'm going to put that over to the side, and we're going to talk today about Ngamahu's Flame. Now, you may have clicked on this video because I did a little bit of clickbait about not using this support right here, greater multiple projectiles support on Ngamahu's Flame. Now, for those of you who don't know what Ngamahu's Flame is, it's basically an axe that when you attack an enemy, it's got a 20% chance to trigger a Molten Burst on melee hit. And Molten Burst is going to be dealing, a fair amount of damage, and it has a cooldown of 0.15 seconds. So we can actually have a look in our character sheet right here. We've got this right here. If you hover over it, yeah, it says cooldown time of 0.15 up the top there, average of 14,000, but we're going a Berserker. So the whole deal is to try and get as many attacks per second, upwards of 30 attacks a second, which 0.15 divided by 5, which is a 20% chance, is 0.03. So if we attack 0.03 times per second, that means we're going to be triggering as many of those procs as we can. Now, a lot of people, we can actually see, if we go over to poe.ninja right here, I'll just quickly show you guys something here. If we go over here and we go to the builds, and we go to Ngamahu's Flame, Ngamahu's Flame right here. Look, there's actually not really anyone here playing it, but look, what I'm trying to say is it's general consensus that you use greater multiple projectiles on your Ngamahu's Flame. So there's a GMP there, and there should be probably a GMP here as well, as far as I would be able to tell. Yep, Awakened GMP right here. Now, Awakened GMP might not be that bad, much as we can here, but normal GMP, we've done a little bit of testing, and it seems like it's actually really bad. I'm just going to play two clips side by side, one with GMP socketed and one with slower projectiles socketed. Even in the second clip with the slower projectiles clip, well, you'll see I missed a couple of times and wasn't cycloning properly, and the damage was a lot higher. Let's just play those two. Like, look at that. So, as you may be able to have seen there, it's not great to actually use GMP. The damage is a lot slower. Now, the reason being is it does allow you... So, first of all, we did get a buff to Ngamahu's Flame. It went from 2 projectiles as a base to 3 projectiles as a base, which, as a base, is a really, really big increase to the damage, right? Now, Ngamahu's Flame can shotgun. However, the more projectiles that you have, the less it's going to shotgun, because the projectiles kind of spread out a little bit, especially on a single target. The orbs aren't going to hit as much. So if we go from 3 orbs to 8 orbs, we basically nerf the damage by 27%. And so the difference between a slower projectiles is what? 28% more and 27% here. So 50% DPS difference right here. So 50% more damage per projectile from slower projectiles. And if we go from 3 projectiles to 8 projectiles, I think the threshold is 6 of those projectiles, 6 out of the 8 projectiles have to hit for GMP to be better than slower projectiles, right? I'm also using hypothermia here, which is actually even better than slower proj. So hypothermia is even more damage if you're using skitterbots. So that's what I've decided afterwards, right? Now, a TLDR on all of this is, for the most part, don't use GMP if you're going a Ngamahu's Flame build. Now, the second question about this video is, Ngamahu's Flame good? Here's another TLDR for you. No, it's not amazing. I'm actually playing a Berserker variant to try and get as many attacks per second as I can, going into blitz charges and lots of rage, with hitting up to 90 rage. We'll actually showcase a map now if you want to see some gameplay. Let's just go into a tier 10 map here. Just an arcade map tier 10. I'll showcase some gameplay. It's not terrible. I will say that. It's not terrible. And do I think that I'm going to be pushing this build into the full endgame? The next answer is no. I've got a little bit of a project that I'm not going to share with you yet, but I think today we're going to be gearing up for that. I'm going to say 3 words. Kitava, Act 10, farming. Okay, that was 4 words, right? But that is what we're doing next. Now, you can see here, we're going through, we're cycloning, and killing the enemies. It's not too bad, right? And we're generating a lot of rage here, so we can go up to 90 rage. So, we go quite fast, we attack quite fast, we move quite fast, right? But is it really that good on single target? The answer is, unfortunately, a big no. Now, that is kind of rough. It is kind of rough to kind of come across that and figure that out. But I'll get to the single target here. And in a tier 10 map, it's going to not be too bad. In a tier 14 to 16 map, which I'm up to now, things really start to struggle. And being a Berserker, being on softcore, I'm pretty squishy as well because I built that way. You could juice the damage out a bit more. So let's just put everything up. I'll put rage up as well. Alright, so we did hit a few hits of damage there. But then you can see here, like, if the orbs don't hit... See, look at that. Like, the orbs don't hit properly. It just... The damage feels really trash. It's pretty bad. Especially looking at scaling this build, I might be able to get 2 to 3 times the damage, which is still not enough to really say, hey, this build's going to function amazingly well, right? So I think I'm going to bench this for now, unless I come back to it with like 50, 60 exalts. I think it's going to be kind of okay for now. We're going to put this one aside. And once again, we've got a new project running that I'm not going to say too much, but come and check us on Twitch if you want to check that one out. Twitch.tv/thisisbadger. We're going to be leveling a Pathfinder and farming Act 10 Kitava is all I'm going to be saying. That's going to be pretty fun. Thank you so much for watching. I'm not trying to, dismiss Ngamahu's Flame Axe, but it's not as buffed as we thought it was going to be, but I thought I would do a little bit of testing. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you're going to try out Ngamahu's Flame anyway. I would recommend trying Raider or Chieftain are probably the best 2 that I would suggest. Thanks for watching, everyone, and until next time, Badger is out.